Pi is decentralized and Pi has given us that opportunity. So I feel like Pi is Web3 itself too, through the Pi browser and everything. Yeah, that's just it.
Great, great, great. So one moderator said, before the hype of Web3, so Pi has been built for Web3 based on the ideas that we are seeing uh, coming to life gradually over time. It's reflecting that this has been in ideation for a longer time than before the hype started. The buzzword, the marketing buzzword, as Elon Musk would say, started. But I want to ask something. So some remarks that some venture capitalists and some other experts or so. Sorry, I lost Eugene here. Eugene, please send a request to speak when you get back. You're not on the speakers list anymore. So some have called Web3 like the creator's economy. Some have said it is the reinvention of capitalism, or it's the users and builders economy. So what do all of these mean? Okay, what do this mean when you say it's a creator's economy? It's what's the economic you
So
know angle to it here?
if you ask me, I feel like we should go back to Web 2 and ask ourselves what Web 2 was. Web 2 wasn't, um, it wasn't us that was in control of Web 2. We were just in Web 2 doing whatever whoever was in control of it wanted. We only had a little impact on Web 2. But now Web3 has shut that down. It has totally closed that down. So the economy impact is that it's not owned by anybody. It's still we, the human, it's still us that is still in control of it. So whatever we choose for it to be is what it will actually be.
Yeah, I want the audience to try and understand this in a practical sense.
Okay.
Yeah, in a practical sense. Like, yeah, it was a good thing you said. Let us drop back to Web 2, maybe to understand um, how Web 3 is a creator's economy. So, what's the economy like in Web 2? Um, how does the economy function in Web 2? So, maybe we can start from there. IQ, and see how the economy will be like in Web 3. Let's understand how it's a creator's economy.
Well, I guess I go back to the old sharing of data, and John's got a good point there too. We're removing third parties. We're always asking for permission to do things. I mean, you only have to put cash into a bank account, and it won't even matter how much, but they'll ask you where it came from. You know, now the banks are just supposed to be providing security for our money, right? But they're interfering, and if you anytime you want to send money overseas, that takes days and all that, and all they're doing is delaying it so they can make money on your capital on the overnight money markets. So that removal of third party interaction is a huge thing. Um, when I go back to the data sharing and all that, you talk about creator economy. You know, when you're creating your things, like just say like artwork, you're creating artwork. You kind of have to go through galleries and stuff like this. Another third party that will take a portion of your profits, but they're not just taking 10% or whatever. They take 50, 60% of your things. So
What? 60%?
oh yeah,
Majority.
absolutely they will. Yeah, because they without them, you can't get in front of the customers. Now we've got a lot of things now. With like say eBay, Etsy, all this sort of thing where we can kind of get in front of customers. But unless you're being promoted on the front pages, because we've seen a lot of all those things where the big corporations come in and they just overwhelm the front pages of all their stuff. So as a small creator, you can't really get anywhere. But under the new economies,